straighten up before we do commit to a takeoff, to the takeoff roll. Okay, so here we go. Knots and rotate. Lovely. So we'll just climb out. We'll get up to about 1,000 foot. Just put the earphones in while we're climbing so I don't shout. The clouds have developed a bit since the last video, so that's going to make this even more interesting, but I think you'll agree, don't they look absolutely fantastic? That scenery there, the mountains, the way you've got this haze, I don't know, it's so cool, so cool. Right, so we're just reaching 1,000 feet. We'll probably climb up a bit more actually. Flaps can come up. So I'm adjusting the trim, because as you bring the flaps up, the nose will want to come up, so I'm adjusting that to correct, and we'll just come out a little bit so we can look inland, and Matt can tell us how realistic the scenery is, because obviously we've got, well, unless you're from New Zealand in this particular area, I've got no idea. It should be reasonable. I mean, it won't have all the details and all the towns and things, but it will certainly have the basic sort of shape. Rivers and mountains should be fairly accurate, as are the forests and things. So, okay, that's a pretty good cruise altitude. So we will go up to 2,000, I think. That's a good altitude to be at. And like I said, when we get close to Greymouth, we're going to track around the other side of the airfield to avoid any mountains and random crashes. So this is real world weather, so it should be looking like this roughly. Matt can tell us again. I'm not sure if actually you're still in this area, whether you've moved. I think you said you grew up here. Can't quite remember, but correct me if I'm wrong. So tell us how the weather is. So it's scattered, building cloud, I would say, and quite cold. I think it's about 8 degrees. 8 minutes past 7 in the morning. So all right. So we've just reached our climb altitude of 2,000 feet. So I'm pulling back the throttle a little bit, and that will bring the nose down. And I'm trimming so that we don't ascend or descend. We can afford to descend a bit because we're not quite at we're just over 2,000, so that's all right for now. And then as the needle hits that 0, so I'm looking here and here, so now we're not descending at all, we're perfectly trimmed. Ideally that needs to be on the 0. Actually what I didn't do was do the QNH, so now I've just changed the barometric pressure. So altitude is done by pressure, air pressure. So we all have to calibrate the altimeter so that basically if there was a 737 flying at 2,000 feet coming into land, I don't think it would be landing at Greymouth because I don't think it's a big enough. Maybe it is, I don't know. We would need to agree that 2,000, that we both see 2,000 meters at the same physical level, and the way you do that is through air pressure. So you calibrate this to fit the current conditions, and that ensures that 2,000 feet is the same 2,000 feet for any other aircraft in this area, basically. So that's why, to stop it, to give an accurate and consistent, I suppose, is the more important word there, levels of altitude. Okay, so we're dipping way below. We're busting our altitudes all over the place. So that, again, I tend to talk too much and then lose concentration. So apologies for you die-hard flyers out there. Basically, if you file a flight plan saying my cruise altitude is going to be 2,000 feet, then you have to stick at 2,000 feet. You can't be, as we are now, 1,000. Oh my word, we've just had a random failure. What the heck? Mayday. Let's see if I can start the engines. This is not good. Why have I just opened the door? Oh, blimey. Right. Okay, this is definitely a mayday situation. This is not planned. Oh, I keep doing that, pressing the wrong one. I'm trying to hit Control E to see whether... Alright, we're going to have to deal with this then. Oh, geez, you know what? I know what's happened. We've run out of fuel. Alright, I'm going to cheat. No, you know what? I'm not going to cheat. No. Right. Okay, I'm going to... Right, we're gonna deal with this, because I'll show you. We might as well do this again. So basically what's happened is I've been incredibly stupid, and because I've done this video twice, I forgot to refuel the aircraft. So this is why. So basically we've run out of fuel. So we're going to do an emergency landing and see if we can do this. We're going to land in this field. I'm going to choose this field here to land in. So what you've got to do in this situation is make a decision, and you've got to hold a good glide slope. So we're going to land somewhere in this field here. I'm watching my speed, and we want to land at as slow a speed as possible, because we're going to be landing on rough ground. I don't even know if we're going to make that field, to be honest, because there's a fine line between flying slowly and stalling. If we were to stall, we would be in big trouble. So we're completely gliding here. We have no control over our elevation. And here we go. Good luck. Okay. There we go. So we're down, and then I'm easing the brakes, and actually that was a successful emergency landing. All right. So this is where we'd fire the chutes out, so they'd come and down, and yeah. Okay. Well. What can I say? That was completely my fault. So I forgot to refuel the aircraft, which is why we have just run out of fuel and the engine has stopped. So schoolboy error, but hopefully that's still interesting. I'm going to upload this video so you can see what happened, but I'm going to do a proper video as well. So there we go. All right. I hope you did find that interesting. We survived. We landed. We kind of took care of business. And in the real world, we would be jumping up and down for joy right now. So, all right, guys. We'll see you in the next series. I'm going to put this out after the proper video. So even though that this happened before, just so you know. So, okay. See you in episode 4. Cheers, guys. Bye.